Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've been a minute. We've had to wait. Lads, it's trade deadline season. Yeah? We've waited especially for this. Not because, the sleep got the better of me the other day. Not because, Unk-ism is catching up to me.
Catching up. It's caught up, mate.
It was strategic.
It's caught up.
We waited right for this moment, matey. Oh,
Right.
we have to get straight into it. I'm Stateside Gab, in the flesh of the building. Over there. We don't have time for the Arsenal stuff. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for
That
that.
frown has been turned upside down.
Mr. OKC, Mr. Arsenal, Stateside Humph. How are we?
Not too bad, man. Can't complain. Like I said last week, I was frowning, but this week, that frown has been turned upside down. Busy trade talks. You know what I mean? My team's been included. Oh, Keon Ellis.
Let's get into it, man. Please, let's get into it, man. Don't worry.
Let's roll the tapes.
I've got things to say,
roll
First
the
of all,
tapes.
as we do, headlines doing NBA rounds. Kawhi Leonard has been named to the NBA All-Star game as the teams were short. The USA team was short a player in this new USA versus World format. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is sidelined until after NBA All-Star break with an abdominal injury. And the Lakers center, hate to say it, and Lakers center Jackson Hayes suspended for one game after shoving a Wizards mascot. You hate to see it. As we do, Stateside, I'll just run through these really quickly. We're not doing a lot of All-Star chat, but to be honest, when I looked at the All-Star ballots, no real surprises to me. When I looked at the starters, I was like, oh, okay, Donovan Mitchell had a shout maybe here, there, but the reserves are always going to fix itself. Shout out to Jalen Duren making it for the first time. There's some others that made it for the first time.
Chet made it for the first time
Chet
as well.
made it. Then Avdia made it as well for the first time. So shout out to the first time makers,
Yeah.
And Kawhi was the big, admission. However, it looks like, this is course corrected because
Jamal Murray made it for the first time as well.
Ah, yes, Jamal Murray, well done. Kawhi was the person who didn't make it in regards to votes and, the officials that have their votes over there as well and the fans. But he's made it now. So
I think some fans
everything's
forget
right.
Kawhi still playing in the league. I think that's the problem.
Even
Because
though
he
he's
just
having
keeps
like the
himself
best
to-
year of his career,
I mean, he
statistically
just
anyway.
keeps himself to himself. He's not on socials really like that. I mean, the Clippers play very late. So it's like, people should be watching Kawhi hoops, but I question it. Like, are people really watching Kawhi hoops? But with what he's been putting up, he by far should have been the All-Star game. But then, I said this on my one of the TikTok videos I made. I'm like, I always come here and talk about these All-Star selections, who's snubbed, who's not. But these lot don't even try for me in the All-Star game. So why should we even be talking about who's snubbed, who's not? I mean, when you're picked, can you show me a decent brand of basketball? Can you try a bit? But obviously, with the world team losing current MVP for the game, I want to see how it goes. I actually wanted to see him in the All-Star game, but if he's gonna rest for a week and a bit, we'll take that.
Let's see, man. Let's see it. I didn't think Kawhi minded not being an All-Star, by the way. It doesn't strike me as the person to, enjoy the low level of competition, might I say. By the way, a lot of the first timers, at least Jamal Murray, and I think I want to say I heard Jalen Duren say it as well. They said they're going to actually try and play hard and actually try and bring some sort of energy.
We'll believe it when we see it.
Oh,
Wemby
yeah.
said he's gonna play hard.
Oh, yeah.
Wemby was playing hard last year as well. To be fair,
Do you know what I mean?
I like try hard. You know what I mean?
It makes the All-Star game that little bit more interesting, So
That's what I'm saying.
can't complain about that, really and truly. No Shea until after the All-Star break. Maybe why they made a move for a specific guard. We'll get into that very shortly. But this is nothing to worry about per se because I like to think Shea's going to come back. The only thing that he might have to worry about is don't miss too many games. Otherwise, the MVP up in smoke.
It's all been set up perfectly. Do you know what I mean? I think the run of games coming up. Obviously, San Antonio coming up tonight. They didn't want to strain him too much, and there'll be a couple games. There'll be a couple days in between the games, and All-Star break. You want to give Shea as much rest as possible. I think he's only missed one game against Utah, and we still even blew him out. He's played every single game. Outside of that, obviously he's missed a lot of fourth quarters because he just won us the game within the first three. But if someone needs a rest, it's Shea. But if you're OKC fan like myself that always turns it on the TV to watch Shea, it'll be you'll be sorely missed for the week and a bit that he's not going to play. But he definitely does deserve this well-earned rest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, the OKC have been that dominant, especially in the early parts of the season, where he hasn't had to, been not used and abused. That's crazy to say, but used until there was nothing left per per se, you know. And now the depth is getting stronger and stronger as the days have gone on. We'll talk about the trades that you guys have made very shortly, but he's in a good situation. Shea is. It's kind of what I was saying about J-Dub a few weeks ago on the podcast, where it's like, okay, you're having your injury concerns, just sit out. You come back whenever you're ready, because we've got the team ready, you know, in place right now to steady the ship and move forward. Be ready for when you come back, you know. Jackson Hayes, terrible. You can't be pushing mascots. You can't.
I actually haven't seen that, you know.
Mascots are the lifeblood of a franchise. Samson the Lion, the Kings franchise, the Kings mascot. Oh, if somebody pushed Samson, you've pushed me. You can't be having me. I don't know what OKC, that beast of a mascot you lot have there. Very ugly. I don't know what you lot call it.
I don't even know his name, but let's chill out.
It's crazy. But hey, man, you can't be pushing mascots. You got to control your emotions better than that, surely.
I mean, 1 game suspension is a bit. I'd have thought a little bit of a fine, but I guess they want to set a precedent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets like that, matey. It gets like that. Yeah, no. Main event, moment of truth. Stateside trade deadline. You know, me and you have been speaking.
I felt like it needed like a dramatic sort of music behind that when you said trade deadline.
Maybe I put some in there. You never know.
We're gonna have to start getting sound effects.
One of these days, we're gonna have to up the production. Do you know what I mean?
Post ASB.
Do you know what I mean?
We'll have to get sound effects.
Maybe. But me and you on the podcast, we've been talking in regards to trade deadline. The trade season in general. It's been slow. Not many moves have been made. You know, are they scared of OKC that much? Maybe, because there ain't been a lot of moves and shakers in the West, I'll be real. But, hey, we're talking about the West right now because there have been some moves that we have to speak about. And I think the rightful place to start, the Dallas Mavericks. They've only gone and done it. Anthony Davis. It was only a few days ago, it was a year to the day that Luka Doncic got traded from the Dallas Mavericks.
Happy anniversary.
To the Los Angeles Lakers. Can you imagine? In exchange for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, plus some other bits and bobs, if I'm not mistaken, as well in regards to picks. But
it wasn't much. It's a first round pick, that's it.
Well, when I say not much either, they just traded a big part of that trade, Anthony Davis, to the Washington Wizards. If I should say the full trade, Dallas Mavericks are trading 10-time All-Star. This is from Shams, by the way. I could never eloquently put this myself. Anthony Davis, Jalen Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley. Shout out to number 2 overall pick, Marvin Bagley. 2 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders. Stateside Humph. What's your initial reaction when you heard Anthony Davis? Forget all the rest of it for now. Anthony Davis to the Wizards. Chai.
If a year ago when he got to Dallas and someone told you in a year Anthony Davis was going to miss a lot of game time and he was going to end up being traded to Washington Wizards, you would tell me that you're not surprised. You know, and that's unfortunate with Anthony Davis and how his career is slowly just petering away. Do you know what I mean? The best of Anthony Davis, unfortunately, is behind us. You know what I mean? If you sneeze anywhere close to this guy, he gets injured. Do you know what I mean? He's lost so much of the value that made him a potential Defensive Player of the Year, MVP candidate in certain years. You know what I mean? Perennial All-Star. That's just not that guy anymore. He'll give you flashes of that in certain games, but you need that over a course of a season. You need that over a course of a playoffs. And he just can't give you that anymore. You know what I mean? His body just failed him, unfortunately. The talent is there, but the body just can't match the talent. You know what I mean? The body's not holding up as well as he'd want it to. So then you end up in the nation's capital. You know what I mean? In amongst the mess that's going on over there. You know what I mean? It begs the question, what are Washington doing? What direction are they going in? Obviously now you've got Trae Young over there as well. I doubt both of them are going to play any basketball for Washington this season. Going into next season, then you're asking yourself the question, are those two going to play together? Like, what's going to happen to Trey Johnsons of the world, Alex Sars, the young players that's going on in Washington? Obviously, they're building something good over there. Does this disrupt what's going on there? Does it, what happens to the top draft picks coming out of college as well? How does that factor into what they're trying to do out there in Washington? Whole thing's a bit of a mess, in my opinion.
I'll ask you, I have something to say in regards to Washington, but I'll ask you in regards to Dallas and what it means for them. In my eyes, for Dallas Mavericks now, they're not quote-unquote tanking per se, because, Cooper Flag playing out of his mind at the minute. We were talking off camera in regards to, we're moved by what Cooper Flag is doing. And I think the Dallas Mavericks are moved by what Cooper Flag is doing as well, because now it means that they can afford to be like, yeah, cool, the Luka trade was what it was. We're cool on that. Let's try and move on now. Let's get the AD out of there. Obviously, he's checked out. He's not really trying to, fit into what we're trying to do over here. This is Cooper's world now. Let's let him live in it, So we're going to build and do everything in our power to make sure that Cooper Flag is, face of this Mavericks franchise and has everything at his disposal to take us hopefully to some wins. Not this year, because it's now, let's just get a decent pick now, because Kyrie ain't coming back anytime soon anyway, from what it looks like. And, let's move forward. That's how it seems to me. But in regards to what the Mavericks have now, getting some good pieces, by the way, as well, what do you see in their short-term future?
What, for the Mavs?
For the Mavs.
You did mention about Cooper Flag, who obviously I want to just quickly touch on, and the fact that his recent performances has moved me. It takes a lot for me to be, fully impressed with something that's going on in the NBA, and with Cooper Flag's performances, how young he is, the expectation that they have on him. And I feel like the high level of performance that he's shown, the little flashes that he's shown of superstardom, has almost forced the hands of the Mavericks to, cut ties with AD and just say, thank you for your services, but it's time to go. Do you know what I mean? And I don't blame the Mavericks front office. I mean, the whole thing with Luka is just a bit of a mess. But I made a video on TikTok, and I was thinking about this on one of my TikTok lives. I want to ask you this. Do you think, I don't know if you've seen the video, I was saying, do you think Cooper Flag can get to a level where Dallas fans, not that they'll forget about Luka, but they'll kind of keep him as like a distant memory, because Cooper Flag's almost capable of getting close to the levels that Luka was getting to, or at least is showing you flashes that he could, if that makes sense.
In regards to a young player, he's as good, dare I say, as good as a prospect as Luka was coming out of the draft.
I mean, you can't get any better than that.
He was, number one pick well before he even played his college season. Whereas at least Luka had to, prove coming into the NBA that, he could play. And obviously once he actually proved it, he was Rookie of the Year. He was, perennial first team All NBA. Yeah, cool.
First team All NBA in the second season, Luka was.
And I get that. But we're talking about Cooper Flag as a rookie right now. He's given the Mavs a future. So to answer your question, yes, because there's, like you said, you have to play at such a level that generates this sort of excitement where it's like, cool, we can make a trade like this AD one, where it's like, we can make this and we don't have to worry because Cooper Flag is here and he's enjoying the rookie season, as good as anybody's ever had. And that can only project to, I'm not saying it's going to project to perennial All-NBA first team, second team, all that. But eventually, one day, there's no doubt in my mind that Cooper can get there under the right, circumstances, tutelage, all that. So Luka's such a good player, and unfortunately, he's in the West. He said with the Lakers, he's always going to be right there. So he can't be a distant memory or anything like that. He's always going to be what we could have had in regards to fans and, the player, Luka Doncic. But in regards to what Cooper Flag is giving them now, they better be thanking their lucky stars that the lottery was so kind to them and giving them Cooper Flag. So they have a star, for the next 15, potentially 20 years. It doesn't mean that they're going to forget about Luka, though, because unfortunately he's just going to be right there all the time.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I was thinking the same thing as well. Saying these flashes that Cooper Flag's showing you out in Dallas, it's first of all, obviously, like I said, it forces the hands and just to help the front office just cut ties with AD because they were going nowhere fast with that. You know what I mean? It was a dead end. And obviously the whole thing with Luka as well, losing that, it softens the blow somewhat because you're like, I can see a light at the end of the tunnel if everything really does click with Cooper Flag, especially in the second season. Once he's fully comfortable in his game and what I think he can provide moving forward, he gets a little bit more stronger, feels out into his body a little bit more, is more battle tested and understands the pace and the feel of, of the NBA game.
Absolutely. Shout out to Cooper Flag, the Mavs. Talk a little bit about the Wizards a little bit later in regards to, them, their future. Have to move on because as we know, more trades have happened. The Clippers.
More trades.
Chai! What's going on in Clipperland? Clipper Nation.
What's going on?
Major trade has happened. The Los Angeles Clippers, again from Shams, of course. The Los Angeles Clippers are trading James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland and a second-round pick. Again, we'll talk about what it means for the Cleveland Cavaliers in a little bit. But in regards to what the Clippers and what they're thinking, stateside if I could paint the picture for you, started the season extremely slowly. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. Couldn't get defensively right, couldn't get offensively right, and it was calling into question what the hell are they doing over there? Because as we know, their pick or something of the like is not in their control. It's in your control. So they better fix up their ideas. Yeah, you. It's your control, matey. You
Sorry, that video of Drewski pointing at himself with me.
Yeah, you, matey. So they could better buck up their ideas because they don't have their destiny in their hands. And they were getting it together. They were piecing it together. They went on like a stretch where they won about 15 games, 15-2, something like that.
Kawhi, he's still all together.
Well, I'd like to think a big part of that was the chemistry that they've always had, at least in my eyes, in regards to what Kawhi and James have been over the last 2 years. That's no longer a thing anymore. They don't have that to lean on in regards to what they're going to be doing moving forwards because Darius Garland's in town now. Point guard, smaller point guard, doesn't score as well as James Harden. Doesn't play as good defense. Not that Harden was a defensive stopper in any regard, but going to play worse defense than what Harden was playing. Stateside in regards to just for the Clippers, not for the Cavs, but for the Clippers. What they were thinking in making this trade. Do you like it or do you hate it?
I hate it for the Clippers. I don't like it for the Clippers. I think you lose out on a lot with Harden leaving. I think it's a plus for the Cavs. Because with Darius Garland, first of all, too undersized of a guard. Injury prone nowadays as well. That foot, that turf toe, looks like he still hasn't shaken that off from last season.
Causing him trouble.
Almost seems that he rushed it a little bit coming to the season. Do you know what I mean? He's still young. He's still young. I don't know how him and Kawhi are gonna mesh. But then, if you want to look at it from a positive point of view, you saw the effect and how Garland greased the wheels of the Cavs offense last year. Had him playing faster. Generated a lot of wide open shots for the shooters. He could possibly do the same thing with the Clippers in some sense, but that's the thing. Obviously, we're talking about his injury. He has to stay injury free. He has to get back to playing that brand of basketball that he was playing at the start of last season, or for the most of last season. That's the Garland that the Clippers fans are banking that they'll be getting. But as of right now, it's an injury prone guy with turf toe. That's not looking good. But like I said, on the Cavs side of things, there are a lot of pluses to that because you're getting an experienced James Harden who has lived in the playoffs. Yeah, last time he missed the playoffs was his rookie year, so he's lived in the playoffs. He knows what it takes to get to the playoffs, how to perform in the playoffs, and having a player like James Harden, he takes a lot of that playmaking burden off of Donovan Mitchell. So Mitchell doesn't have to play hero ball all the time. You have to score, playmake, rebound, defend. Where I feel like that's kind of been Mitchell's Achilles heel a little bit, where he's almost been forced to do everything, or feels like he needs to do everything for the Cavs to win, and that's just kind of undercut his value to the team in terms of winning as well. So bringing in a Harden, that takes a bit of the burden off of him. But I don't know how high the ceiling really is with Mitchell and Harden, and with Kawhi and Garland, especially in a tough Western Conference. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ecstatic about it for the Clippers.
Yeah, I'm on your side in regards to what it means for them in the short term. They look. I'm trying to be positive about it. They got a little younger in regards to what they're trying to do moving forward, because was Kawhi and Harden and that nucleus for the long term? No, it wasn't, because these guys are on the back end of their careers. So you get somebody in Darius Garland tied up, a lot of money, of course, but tied up for at least the foreseeable future. You have somebody in there that's been an all-star in the past, and when he is going as one of the better point guards, in the league, he's going to have to prove that in the Western Conference, where it's a little tougher now. The point guards out there are a little bit meaner, but I'm those are where it stays in regards to positivity for the Cavs. Naturally, they just get worse because the crux of it is Darius Garland is not as good a player as James Harden is right now today. And today they should be trying to do everything they can to make sure their pick doesn't fall too high in the draft. Otherwise, they're going to have egg on their face. So I don't like it in that regard. I don't think they're done making moves, and if they are, I'll be very surprised because I don't know if Darius Garland is enough to still keep them in the playoff hunt contention. Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe I'm really throwing slander on his good name. But in regards to what it means for them in the short term, I'm not the biggest fan. Long term, it's a little bit clearer what they want to do in regards to their future, because it could mean that Kawhi thrives best when he's comfortable, he has mates, chemistry is flowing. You're gonna have to work very, very hard to get that now with Darius Garland running the show, in my eyes.
100%, 100%. I love the Cavs duo more than I do the Clippers duo. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and we'll talk about
In,
the
in terms of the level of ceiling that I
yeah.
think they can reach.
We'll talk about the Cavs in regards to what they're trying to do because I've been seeing crazy stuff around the Cavs and everybody they're trying to get apparently so. But we'll talk about them. A couple more teams in our Western Conference preview, matey, are the Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. Fat trade,
Yes.
big trade. The one that kind of started this all off. I think I have it over here. Yes, I do. So I'll read it to you. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Jaren Jackson Jr., John Concha, Jock Londale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walton Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, bloody hell, he gets passed around like a blunt, doesn't he? And 3 future first-round picks. Jaren Jackson is the key piece over here, stateside out, because as we know, former Defensive Player of the Year, former All-Star. This is somebody who is, an established, player, has his clear weaknesses. Of course he does. Everybody does. But for a big man and somebody of his qualities, there's always a little bit more that you're wanting from Jaren Jackson Jr. And I think that's what, the Grizzlies were sensing in regards to their ceiling with Jaren Jackson. Fair enough. They're not confident in, his ability to win with It's time to move on. In regards to what the Grizzlies are trying to do, to me, does it look like they're done making moves? I don't think so. Either whether it's now or whether it's in the short term, hey man, I'd like to think that they're looking to do something else with Ja Morant, because if they think that Ja Morant alone is going to be, the only piece of star power that they have in regards to pushing them up the West, well, I'm sorry to say they got another thing coming because that's not happening anytime soon. So I'd like to think, stateside off, another move is coming for this Memphis Grizzlies team. I'd like to think this is the sign they're blowing it up.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no clearer sign than trading away your max contract player in Jaren Jackson Jr. Do you know what I mean? Former defensive player of the year as well. Is a player that has he has a lot of potential, but I feel like he just never really reached the potential or the expectation that fans and players alike had of him. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, with what he's achieved there individually anyway, you'd have thought that translates to team success, but it just hasn't. Him and Jar just has not worked at all. And I feel like they've almost dragged it maybe a year, 2 years too late in terms of just rebuilding. Do you know what I mean? But then that's always been a problem with a lot of NBA teams where they just don't know when to just let go of the rope and just say like, let's just dust our hands off this and just start again. Do you know what I mean? But obviously with this here, Jaren Jackson's moving over to Utah. Jar as well. I'm expecting a trade for him. Where I have no idea, because it almost seems like he came to London, promoted a shoe, played a bit, and then sat out again. Went back to America, just didn't play again. Because every time I watch, I'll turn into Grizzlies games to I'll see what Jar's saying. Bro, he's on the bench in street clothes in Nike Tech. I'm like, wasn't the same guy that was playing out in London a couple of weeks ago? Like, what's changed? You know what I mean? So it's just the whole thing. It just spells let's just end this thing and start again. Do you know what I mean? There's been a lot of like turbulence out there in Memphis with coaching changes just before the playoffs start. Ja in the media talking about he's lost his love for the sport and like asked the coaches why they're not playing in the fourth quarter. It's just too much noise. I mean, too much noise over there. And like I said, with Jaren Jackson having to lead a team without their best player, maybe it might be unfair on him how people view Jaren Jackson because of the fact that him and Jar just hasn't worked. Do you know what I mean? At their best, you see Jar as the number one and Jaren Jackson as the number two to complement each other. But when you speak to Grizzlies fans, they always just go back to that 2022 series against Golden State, even though they got knocked out, I think, in the second round.
Second round, yeah.
Because yeah, they beat the Timberwolves in the first round and got knocked out in the second round. There's only so much you can keep reliving a second round, playoff run that you got beaten. You know what I mean? With the talent that they have at their disposal, or that they had at their disposal, I just think they've massively underachieved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Your first point in regards to teams being reluctant to kind of let go of what a good feeling is when it's gone. Grizzlies have historically been that kind of franchise where it's like, look, until there's nothing left, we're holding on to our guys. When it's been to the detriment of the franchise, sometimes they've done it a little bit earlier than they've done in their cycles in the past. So I am applauding them, I guess, for realizing when a time period is done, when things ain't going to move forward. So, shout out to them in that regard. And I'd like to think they're going to be doing the same thing with Ja. Where he moves, same thing with you. I'm not sure. There are some landing spots now. I'd like to think, the Timberwolves have made some moves. So, they're looking for a point guard or some big superstar type of move.
Jaren Anthony Edwards. I don't know how that works. I don't know why.
No. I don't mind it. They need a point guard. Hey, man, there's not a lot of point guards out there. Ja's a really good point guard.
That's two big personalities, though.
Yeah, but he's walking into someone else's team, and I like to think he would realise that.
We would like to think that, sure, but yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm more intrigued to see where Ja lands rather than obviously Jaren Jackson, but
well,
we'll see.
You say that in regards to you're not hearing it in Utah, little Utah. I don't mind it, I'm just saying, they got Danny Ainge over there who's pulling the strings, and they've had a slew of picks for a long time. They have a lot of cap space as well because, let's face it, no free agents are walking into Utah. They understand that. And because of that, they have to, move accordingly. They have to make big swings for players that may be out of favor. Maybe it's not, flavor of the month. They got to do what they got to do in regards to what are we going to do to be competitive. Now, it looks like Lauri Markkanen is going to be sticking around, at least for the short term. It looks like they're having a little bit of faith in Keontae George, who's having an excellent season for, what it is, the situation is in Utah. Ace Bailey, it looks like they're convinced that we've got a good player on our hands here, so let's develop him, let's see what he can do. They've lost a few of their, good role players, Walton Clayton Jr., Taylor Hendricks, key pieces, unfortunately. But, hey, man, when you have to bring in somebody like Jaren Jackson, who's ultimately the better player, who's ultimately under team control as well for at least, the next 5 years? I don't think he's even touched any of that money yet. I don't mind that for the Jazz, so I'm not going to shoot the gun. Oh, Walker Kessler as well, he's there, and if he wants to stick around, they got the makings of a good team, man. I'm not going to lie. So people are going to sleep on this move for the Utah Jazz, but I'd like to think if they can keep the crux of what this team is right now, by next year, we could be talking about them as one of the breakout teams in the West. So I don't want people to sleep on that just because it's, Utah.
It's a big shout. I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? That front court is something you can't sneeze at, but it's the West. Do you know what I mean? You have to really trust the project over there. You can't just plug players into certain systems and just expect it to work.
You don't think Danny Ainge can make it work? He's a good GM.
Possibly. I'm not fully writing it off. But I'm just saying I'll believe it when I see it. If Jaren Jackson Jr. and Walker Kessler to make it work, obviously with Lauri Markkanen, depend on if he stays or goes. But Utah, I mean, it's only a couple of years ago with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, where, they were first in the West for a couple of seasons. And then they just plummeted just like that. So maybe it's their time to, come back into the fold.
I'm just saying, when they're rolling, they've shown in the past that they can be a stable franchise. They just haven't had the talent to obviously be that. And they've been at the bottom of the West. And they play in the West. So,
Exactly.
We'll go to our two teams. I saved them for last. We'll try and be brief on them just because we've got other trades to talk about. We'll start with yours because I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. Let me get the full details of the trades. The one that was referenced. Jared McCain from the 76ers. Did I see it coming? We spoke about this in the past in regards to, look, does Jared McCain need a change of scenery if he's going to have any sort of potential in regards to maybe reaching his all-star, level of play, or if he's just going to be some sort of role player, at least for the, short term. Long term, I don't know, maybe. But the full details of the trade are Jared McCain from the Philadelphia 76ers to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in return, they get 26 Rockets first-round pick, 3 second-round picks as well. So you didn't really get him for much. considering the treasure chest of picks that you lot have. But outside looking in, and Philly fans will let me know 100%. I spoke to one not that long ago, actually. Sam Harris, shout out to Sam. He was on the podcast not that long ago. You look like you got a good player. You look like you got a decent player.
We got a magnificent player. Do you know what I mean? How can I word this? If there was one team that the NBA wouldn't want Jaren McCain to go to, is OKC. Do you know what I mean? We're notoriously known for developing talent. I mean, when you look at this OKC team, a lot of people misconstrue it and say we're a super team. But when you look closely, we develop talent very, very well. You see with AJ Mitchell, he was second round pick, an exceptional player. He's in contention for most improved. Aaron Wiggins done well in the NBA playoffs and the finals as well. 55th pick. I mean, J-Dub and Chet, they were big parts in us winning the championship. They were in their third year. You know what I mean? When you see Jalen Williams as well, deep in the second round. Kenrich Williams as well, undrafted. Like, there's so many of these players, they either late first round pick, second round picks, undrafted, but we develop them so well, and our system and our project that we run in OKC is so tight knit, is so bulletproof that I feel like a player like Jaren McCain coming in, if he didn't get injured last year, that's a rookie of the year. Do you know what I mean? Coming to the season, obviously nursing that meniscus, wasn't going to be the same player. I mean, I think he had like a finger issue as well, so was kind of in and out of the off season, the off season training camp.
Training camp, yeah.
So he just didn't have a good start to the season. But if you're coming to a team like OKC as a guard as well, which we desperately need as well, do you know what I mean? We've been always talking about OKC needs a guard that can play make, that can score. There's a player in Jaren McCain that I like his game a lot. I was watching some of his highlights from his rookie year. Solid base, great basketball IQ, which is naturally going to help. The fact that, you know, he looks like he's coachable. You don't let the smiling and the TikTok dances and all of that stuff fool you. It's a competitor as well. Do you know what I mean? I like what, like you say, I like his cut off his jib. Do you know what I mean? I like his game a lot. So I'm always going to be positive in the sense that I think he would do very well in OKC. Obviously, with Shay's news of him being out for a couple of weeks just after the All-Star break, he's probably then going to have more chance of getting into the swing of things straight away. You know what I mean? So that's, if anything, that's just going to help. So then obviously once Shay comes back, he's already got his feet wet. And then, kind of take us all the way to late June.
It's just a good trade, innit? It's just a good trade.
It just is.
You know, and again, I talk about under team control. This is rookie team control as well, so he's going to be cheap, nice and cheap for a long time. And we understand that OKC have to work very hard, unfortunately, to keep this team together now because of the way the salary cap and aprons, second apron, all this nonsense is set up. Whether that changes or not in the future, I don't know, but they can only operate in the now. So they have to make sure that they can keep their guys as well as keep the roster cheap, as well as keeping it talented so they can compete in the West. You're doing that, so I can't complain. This is a good trade. Good trade.
Sixers wanted to keep Quentin Grimes as well, I heard, so that's why they had to let go of Jaren McCain. They just couldn't keep them both.
And if that's what they want to do, then fair enough. We'll talk about Philly in the next section. We'll wrap up the Western Conference by speaking about my team. I'm not happy.
When are you guys ever happy?
I'm not happy.
That's the question.
I don't like it, brother. You know, trade details off the top of my head, I can't be asked to get right now. DeAndre Hunter, Keon Ellis, and Dennis Schroeder. He was always going to get traded, no problem. We spoke about that last week. I knew it from the get-go. You're gone, brother. You're gone. All right? Westbrook playing better than you. You're gone. All right?
Right.
Now, the reason I don't like it, because everyone's licking the Cavs right now. We'll do it in a second. You know, the Cavs, great move. Keon Ellis, good player. Yeah, he was a good player. It was a positive piece. Good defender, good shooter. You know, low maintenance guy. Doesn't need a lot of touches. Knows his role. Just did his thing, you know. And I really like Keon Ellis for that reason. Now we've got a DeAndre Hunter. Expensive for what he is. I've heard him in the past. I want to shoot the ball. I want to score more. And I get that. I think he's averaged close to 20 points before in a couple of times as well. Brother, we've got DeMar.
Yes.
Yeah, you can check the stats. Brother, we've got DeMar. We've got Levine. And we've got Westbrook. On what planet? We've got Sabonis. On what planet do you think you're shooting the ball on this team? It's not happening. Yeah? We got scorers already. We need you to come and lock in and play defense. So if you're going to come in and do that, then yeah, I'm happy. But I don't think he's going to do that. And because I don't think he's going to do that, he's not going to be locked in. He's not going to be playing with his heart on his chest. He's not going to be playing for the badge. And that's what we need right now in Sacktown, because not a lot of people are doing that. I've questioned the stars that are there at the minute that seem disillusioned because bottom of the West is only Sacramento. Who cares? We're going to be picking that in the draft anyway. Nah. I want winners to be there because we've had winners in the past. We've traded them away for these bums that are there right now. I'm not calling DeAndre Hunter a bum. I'm really not. However, if he proves me right, then yes, I'm calling him a bum. If he proves me right. If buts and maybes as of right now, Stateside have. But you can let me know if I'm bugging or not. I don't like the trade. I don't like DeAndre Hunter joining my team. Sorry.
Do you feel like the players that you currently have and that's being traded to your franchise, obviously the Kings aren't a
free agent destination.
You're not like you're not contending for the playoffs.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You're not contending for the playoffs, but do you feel like you need certain players that can set a good culture, so then they're almost paving the way for younger players or the other players that come in, knowing that this is how this is how it is for Kings basketball. This is how we play. This is what the culture is like. I mean, you almost want to set that now, so then once they leave with like your Westbrook, like you say, you want winners playing for your franchise. Even though you're not going to win too many games, at least whoever's coming through that door has the right mentality. So it's easy to kind of streamline, and when you're drafting, when you're trading and stuff, you know the exact type of players that you need, if that makes sense, rather than just bringing anyone through the door because it's the Kings.
It makes sense, and I feel like that's what we have been doing a little bit in regards to the moves that we've been making. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine didn't work for years in Chicago, but for some reason these men think it's going to do something here.
Right.
Russell Westbrook, as much as I love him and we needed a point guard at the time, he's going to come with everything that Russ comes with. Is that necessarily going to fit this constructed Kings team? Probably not, because he wants his touches too. He wants to get his thing going as well. That's how, you get the best out of Russell Westbrook, when he's a little bit more free to do what he wants to do. If you bring in all these guys and they have to play specific roles and they can't be themselves, then it's just not going to work, man. And then if you want to add pieces that unfortunately are going to think the same way that the players that we currently have are thinking, then it's like, what are we doing here? The saving grace, I think, is that if we think positively about it, we've had situations in our recent history in regards to we've put players and we've put a team together that can make the playoffs and can make noise as well in regards to the Western Conference. Can the Kings actually do something in that team that made the playoffs not that long ago? With Fox and Sabonis leading the way specifically. We had two designated all-stars. Their job was to score the ball, and you knew how the defense was going to run. We knew everybody else had to play their role, and then we'll get to where we need to get to. At the moment, we don't look anything close to that. Standing says so. Stats says so. Player roster construction says so. I just don't know if the GMs really see it like that. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're thinking right now. But I'm going to have faith in whatever it is. Trust the process, as they say. But just know, as of right now, I'm not happy, boy. Not happy.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you, Jimmy. When the Kings ever keep you happy? You know what I mean?
They don't. I'll be real, but
yeah,
as a once, wise lady once said, that's mine. And I will stick beside him.
Hate to see it. Yeah, man. I feel like the Kings, you gotta alter your way to bring players in where that they're paving the way for the young rookies and young players that are coming in through the door, knowing that if I walk through this door, I know exactly what Kings basketball is. I know exactly what their ethos, what their values are. All of that kind of stuff. Kind of the same thing with OKC and like your San Antonio's and your Detroit Pistons. The best teams in the league. When you go to that franchise as a young player, as an old player, as a player entering your prime, you know what the team's about. You know what I mean? You know what is expected of you, and you know what's expected of them as well. And I feel like teams that are obviously trying to get back to the top, like your Sacramento's, your Utah Jazzes, and all of these type of teams, easier said than done, but some sort of culture has to be set in terms of how you're doing it right now and the type of players that you're bringing into the franchise, whether through trade or draft.
Before I deep it anymore, how much of a mad situation that my team is in. Stateside up. Let's park the trade chat. Let's park it.
Let's lighten up the mood, shall we?
Yeah, matey. Shall we play a game?
I don't know why you left your team to last. Yeah, let's.
I don't know why I did
play
that
a
either.
game.
I should have just got my thing out of the way, bro.
Should have started. You literally should have started at the start.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
let's,
yeah. And
let's,
I'll be like, AD, who? My team have made me unhappy. But it's all right, man. It's all right. We're playing a game now. Stateside up.
Yeah,
you know?
let's play a game. Let's do that.
As requested by, I think it might have been just Daisy. I think it might have been him. We're gonna play a cheeky old game. Usually we reserve it at the beginning of the season, but now, don't worry. This time, today, trade deadline times. Who he play for is coming back.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. You know the rules. Stateside. I'm gonna give you a player. You just have to tell me what team they play for. Simple as that.
This is what you called a brand ruiner.
You're
Honestly,
fighting
PR spoiler.
allegations. Yeah, I know you're fighting allegations on the daily, but matey,
Swinging for the fences, man. Let's
this
do
is
it.
this is what we have to do. All right, I'm going to give you 6 names as we do because I want you to go for 6 for 6 one day. As much as you don't think I do, or you do, I want you to.
We're getting 6 for 6 this year.
Well,
Might not be today though, but
yeah, you're
It'll
mid defeat
happen
already.
at
Then
some
what's the point?
hey, like we're saying, we strive for it every single time. But you know what I mean?
Let's see, matey. Let's see. We'll start with the first name on the list. Who he play for? Mike Conley. What team
Ooh.
does Mike Conley play for?
You know when I start grimacing, I'm about to give you some BS. Oh no!
At time of
I
recording,
know he don't play for. I know Colin don't play for the Timberwolves anymore. He moved, but where to, Kamara? Mike Conley plays for. What are we talking about? Post or pre-trade?
today, brother.
Give me the Chicago Bulls.
Final answer.
Yeah, sure. Sure, why not?
Mike Conley got traded again. He plays for the Charlotte Hornets. He got
Was he
traded
at the Bulls?
again, brother.
Wait, was he at the Bulls before?
He was at the Bulls for a cup of coffee.
You gotta give me that. I
Nah,
mean,
G.
I swung for the fence, but
Nah,
you
G.
gotta give me that.
You ain't getting that, brother. Sorry.
What?
You can't have that one. Sorry, matey. Sorry.
Libby's.
Look, let's move on to the next one. You might get the next one because the next player is Jacoby Walter. Tell me, Stateside Umph.
Ooh-wee.
Tell me. The only clue that I'll give you is his name popped up in your live last time I was on
Kobe
there.
Walter.
Jacoby,
Lepenak.
second year
Cleveland?
player.
Cleveland.
Final answer.
Sure.
Toronto Raptors.
Shout out the Raptors, man. What? Hey.
Oh dear. Look, come on.
Jacoby
Get yourself
Walters.
on the board, matey. Next one. Let's keep it going. Next
I gotta
one.
shake off this rust, man.
Come on. Next one.
I gotta shake off this rust.
Oh, matey. Next one. Amari Williams. I know you have this one, brother. Think about it.
Whoever that is.
Oh, I know you have this one. I know you do. Don't
Amari
think
Williams.
hard. Yeah, don't think hard. You have this.
Sounds like a Utah Jazz player. Get me to Salt Lake.
He plays for the Boston Celtics. He's English.
He's English.
He's English.
Shout him out. Shout out the British Hoopers.
Had a good highlight the other day as well. I think he had a good dunk the other day as well.
Shout out the British Basketball League. Shout out BBL.
Yeah, brother.
And the British Basketball League as well. You know what I mean?
Look, this one,
What?
get yourself on the board. This one,
Bro, I have to get one at least.
Brother.
I'm 0-3.
brother, Royce O'Neal. Get yourself on the board, brother. I know you've got this on you.
Any in Phoenix?
Final answer.
He's a Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Phoenix son. Yes. Yes. I was worried.
I'm so gullible. Even if you're lying to me right now, I wouldn't even know. But I know he should be in Phoenix. Last time I heard.
He's in Phoenix. He played last
Phoenix.
night, brother. Don't worry about that.
We got one on the board.
Yes. Two more, matey. Two more. 'cause you got
Let's shoot 50% from the field, man. I guess you on the team.
Jock Londale. Tell me, brother.
Oh.
What team does he play for? Jock. Australian.
I was just reading that now on Sham's Twitter.
Where?
Who the hell did he just go to? He was at Memphis. So he'd be in I didn't finish. Utah?
Let me say anything. Oh, fine answer.
He would have gone with Jaren Jackson unless he got bought out. Let me not Galaxy Brain it. Give me Utah.
Fine answer.
Yeah, sure.
Well, there's good news and bad news. He didn't. He did play for the Grizzlies. He didn't get traded from the Grizzlies. But the good news is he's now a Utah Jazz. He's on the Rockets. He was on the Rockets.
He was. Wait, so did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it right. Now he's on the Utah Jazz. He was on the Rockets.
I knew that. I knew you got a bought out somehow, man. But my board knowledge is A1. It's just.
Well,
just, you know what I mean?
Last one, matey. Can you 50% from the field, please?
Let's do it. I'll take that.
What are we going to do with you? Last one. Sadiq Bey. Where does Sadiq play for?
Did he get traded?
I don't know, matey.
If he stayed put, I should make 50%. I should go 3 of 6. He said the Pelicans.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Well done, matey. Well done. Still a Pelican. 50%. We take those.
You love my fire. I am good.
Why, brother? That first 3 was looking spooky.
An abhorrent start.
Oh my days.
They were leaving me open.
They were.
Like Russ.
They were.
Leave me open.
Is that Draymond?
I'm saying, don't let me open too much.
Hey man.
You better put a hand up.
I mean, even Draymond can make 1 or 2, brother.
Hey, these trades, they're just fresh out of the oven. How am I supposed to consume it when it's this hot? I burn the roof of my mouth. You know what I mean? So
I'm fresh out the kitchen. I get it, man.
3 of 6, I'll take that. Do you know what I mean?
Fairs, man.
However, I don't know how this will look once it's cut up and put on the socials.
Well,
Tell me to stick to my tea and crumpets as the comment section as the comment section always says. But
Doug, mate, that's the TikTok live always says. By the way, for the people that don't know how to reach you on there and want to join, want to get in on the action, how do they get there? What do they have to do?
It's just Humps_official. You know what I mean? When you see the little purple thing with the orange basketball looking thing, that's me. Do you know what I mean? I'm mostly on there Friday evenings, to be fair. I mean, Friday night, I ain't really going anywhere, so I'm on there for a couple hours just talking hoops for some of the parts. But yeah, whether insightful or not, come through, man. You know what I mean? Everyone's welcome to give their takes.
Well, Stateside, we have to go back to trade talk at the moment. We have to go out east. We referenced a few of them out east from when we were out west anyway. So let's start with potentially the biggest one, Cleveland. They have received James Harden in exchange. All they had to give up was Darius Garland, 2nd round pick. Fez in regards to what the Cleveland Cavaliers are trying to do. I had some rumblings, some murmurs in regards to Donovan Mitchell. He wasn't happy in regards to what they were trying to do moving forwards, and were they really trying to compete for a championship, especially after the down year that they had last year? Not regular season, but playoffs, it weren't great. You have to be honest with ourselves. And whether you thought Darius Garland was good or bad for them, don't matter no more. James Harden is there. So Stateside, when you think about what they're trying to do in the short term, Garland out, Harden in, what are you saying?
I mean, as I was saying briefly in the West segment, I like somewhat this trade from for Harden to go over to Cleveland. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm really looking at what help can you get for Donovan Mitchell. Do you know what I mean? Bringing James Harden in with how his game's like, his level of scoring, playmaking, I think is going to complement Donovan Mitchell's game very well. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's going to stop Donovan Mitchell having to play hero ball too much. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, that always diminishes the value that Donovan Mitchell can bring to this Cavs team in terms of like winning basketball. I feel like he's just having to do too much. I feel like both guys their games can almost bounce off each other in terms of scoring and playmaking. You playmake, I score, you playmake. Harden, like I said, has only missed the playoffs in his rookie year. Has been in the playoffs ever since. Ridiculous record, and that's going to stick as well. Moving on this season as well, he brings that level of consistency in the playoffs because he knows what the playoffs are like. I know he has the question mark of him being like a playoff dropper, this and other, but still, I'd rather have Harden on my team than not. Do you know what I mean? You'd be crazy not to say otherwise. So if I'm the Cavs, I'm happy with what I got with Harden. Like I said, in terms of playmaking, scoring, how he helps with his game gelling with Donovan Mitchell. There will be expectation on Donovan Mitchell this year. I was speaking about it on my live with a couple of the boys in terms of we talking about Donovan Mitchell being a top 10 player, but he hasn't got past the second round. You know what I mean? And he's had teams where he's had defensive player of the years on there. He's had top players on there. Now he's adding Harden to this iteration of his Cavs team. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that works out. But from the outside looking in, if I'm a Cavs fan, I'm happy with the trade.
I'm happy, same as you. I'm happy to an extent in regards to what they're trying to do in Cleveland, what they're trying to do over there. Let's make a real push for the playoffs and let's get somebody with playoff experience. However, that playoff experience comes with a lot of caveats, man. You know, I've seen way too many flameouts in regards to James Harden, especially when he's been asked to be the guy. Hasn't happened. When he's been asked to be just the second guy, it still hasn't, changed in regards to what the outcome is. And that would concern me in regards to what it is in Cleveland because, yes, we know Donovan Mitchell can pick up slack, especially in playoff time. He can put a team on his shoulders. However, at the end of the day, still needs guys to carry him. And I understand that Evan Mobley, still there. Jarrett Allen, still there. Could get moved, by the way, and I'll ask you another question a little bit after this. But you mentioned it briefly there, but I'm going to have to press you on this one. Are you not concerned that, yes, James Harden, better player than Darius Garland, we both agree, we don't have any qualms. Playoffs, though, I'm very, very much concerned in regards to what he's really and truly bringing to this Cavs team. Because in my what I've seen, it's a lot, but it's not that much at the same time.
We're here to change the narrative. That's really what it is. Do you know what I mean? We're here to change the narratives because there's only so long that people can have this narrative of Harden being a playoff dropper. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he hasn't been, but he has an opportunity now in a weaker East as well to change the narrative. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has their time to flip things around. So, like I was saying, with what the Cavs currently have at their disposal, bro, Harden got players like Clint Capella played. So if I'm the bigs in Mobley and Allen as well, like I said, with how Harden's game, I feel like will naturally gel with Donovan Mitchell. I think you help the big men eat as well in terms of these, pick and rolls and lobs at the basket. You know what I mean? They'll be willing rollers to the basket. They'll get easy shots, free shots. You know what I mean? He'll make them a threat as well in their offense. Do you know what I mean? So, like I'm saying, how can you not be happy with that? Of course, there'll be that question mark of, can Harden do in the playoffs? Or is he going to flame out again? But, like I said, you just got to hope that he's coming in with the mindset of, I'm here to change the narrative of my flame outs in the playoffs.
They made some other moves as well. Obviously, DeAndre Hunter is not there no more. Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder are now also there. Lonzo Ball's not there no more, which is...
They got Tyson something, the one that said, it's Donovan Mitchell's city or something. Like
corny,
that.
By the way. Corny.
I'm like, relax. Time and place.
That was very much light-skin behavior from Broski.
Hey,
can't lie.
you were trying to keep us playing, bro. Trade that does around the corner, man. It's like, bro, Donovan, look what I've done for you, man.
You ain't gonna trade me, right? You know?
That's what I'm saying. So I hear it from a teammate standpoint. I want to stay on the team, but I don't know what he was playing at.
It was corny to me. Lonzo's not there no more. He was traded to the Utah Jazz. Now he is
free agent,
bought out by the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
So he was there for a cup of coffee. Now he's not there anymore. So I like their team in regards to what it says on paper and the piece that they have there now. They have a lot more of a well-rounded team in my eyes, where there's guys that want to play defense or are there to play defense anyway. There's guys there to play make. There's guys there to score as well. There's defined roles and they have good head coaching behind them. So I'm not overly concerned, in the Cavs regular season playoffs. I'll keep my tabs. I'll keep my eyes on them. I have to talk to you about, funny enough, the Chicago Bulls.
funny enough. Not the team specifically, but their team has changed drastically. Kobe White is not there anymore. People thought he was going to get moved to a slew of different teams, but he's landed in Charlotte. And if I could just read you the trade package, I had it here, lost it now. Bear with me. Shams is going to have my back. Where is the... Here we go. The Chicago Bulls are trading Kobe White and Mike Conley for Colin Sexton, Osman Dieng. You know him very well, Stateside. He was a
NBA champ.
Anyway. 3 second-round picks. We'll move on to another player that got traded from the Chicago Bulls very shortly, but this one surprised me. Kobe White is somebody that was coveted by a lot of teams. I know the Timberwolves were looking very closely at him because we know they could use a point guard right now. I can imagine other teams as well were looking at it. Maybe the Lakers were seeing what they can do in regards to an extra shooter, extra offensive piece. There was a lot of teams that were looking at him. And now he's in Charlotte. And now their guard rotation is looking very, very heavy. And let me see if I'm just being Nostradamus. Let me know if I'm doing too much. I think LaMelo's going. He's got to go now. Because if you look at it from this standpoint, are you telling me that the backcourt of LaMelo, Kobe White, and Konkunupu, one of those three is just going to be happy being a 6-man coming off the bench type thing? I can't see it. You just have you've just had Konkunupu, or you're having Konkunupu, pushing for Rookie of the Year, showing that he could potentially be the face of the franchise. You have LaMelo, who is the current face of the franchise, and to me, low-key looks like an odd man out in regards to what they do. I know he's making it look right now, but injury prone. Is he the ideal face of the franchise? Probably not in a lot of some people's eyes in regards to his maturity levels. Kobe White's coming into this now. He's been having all-star years for a couple years now. What, he's going to just go to the bench? No, that's not happening. Brandon Miller, you just picked him high in the draft. He's, looking like he's going to be a good player for you. What, you trading him? I don't think so. So maybe I'm just bugging Stateside, but I'm just saying that LaMelo, Lonzo just got bought out as well. He's waiting to see what's happening over there. Something could happen in Charlotte. Something's bigger. Something's on the horizon. What could they be doing?
There might be some truth to it, though, to be fair. There might be some truth to it, because at the end of the day, there's only one basketball. Do you know what I mean? And having all these guards, and then obviously, like you mentioned, Brandon Miller as well, who he scores in bunches. You have, who's a forward lefty for Charlotte? Miles Bridges. You have him there as well.
Shoot the ball too now.
That's what I'm saying. So the ball has to be spread around. I've always spoken about LaMelo, always questioning if he can be exactly what the Hornets need in terms of, floor general, leader, set a good culture, winning culture, or if what's the saying, the dynasty starts after you or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or like that kind of vibe where everything good about Charlotte in terms of like rebuilding, setting a winning culture, moving from losing franchise over to play-in, playoffs, all of that starts after LaMelo leaves. Do you know what I mean? And with the recent performances from LaMelo, who's been performing really well, if that's just only increasing his value for him to be traded somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? So bringing in a Kobe White, what you're saying might have some truth to it. And if that does happen where LaMelo actually ends up leaving, we might be sitting here not surprising. You might, be telling everyone, I told you so.
And I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to do this to say I told you so, by the way, but it's just...
No, I would, to be fair.
Yes. Maybe I should be, I don't know. But I'm just saying that, look, sometimes writing is on the wall, man. Like, this is a heavy guard rotation that they're doing. Unless, what, you're telling me all of these guys are going to be starters now? That's a real small team. And if that's going to be the case, you know what, Brandon Miller's going to be playing power forward? I don't think so. No.
It always reminds me of that Suns team back in like 2012 with Bledsoe, Goran Dragic, and Isaiah Thomas.
And look how that turned out. I think they blew that team up in the middle of the season as well.
That's what I'm saying.
So, heavy guard rotations. I mean, it's all, sunshine and rainbows until, you have to tell someone they're the 6-man. So, right. I'm keeping tabs on that situation over there. Not only Chicago Bulls, Kobe White is the only person that's made a move over there. Nikola Vucevic.
Vucci Main,
former All-Star with the Magic. He's
Wasn't he?
gone. He's not there no more. You know, I'm really scrolling on Shams' thing, as you can imagine, busy. But here we go.
Yeah. Right.
The Chicago Bulls are trading Nikola Vucevic and a second round pick to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons, and a second round pick. Hate to be that guy. Told you Anthony Simons will get traded at the beginning of the season. I said there's no way.
You did say that.
Yeah, I said there's no way that they couldn't keep him, unfortunately, because Peyton Pritchard is the guy over there in regards to where it is putting up position. Anthony Simons, as good of a player as he is, that's a good little trade chip, man. And is he conducive to winning basketball? He has not shown that in his career yet. So unfortunately, he's got a few more years to prove it. I know he's got some scoring potential. I know he's got punch. But, hey man, the Celtics still have a window where they can at least do something, especially in the Eastern Conference. And that's why they brought Vucevic in, because what have I been saying for the longest time? They're small in regards to their center room. Keita, I don't mind him. He was on my Kings for a while. But if that's your starting center and you're trying to compete against the Knicks or the Pistons, you're going to get eaten. So you needed to do something in regards to, look, is Vucevic the perfect center? No. He's got defensive deficiencies to his game. He's slower as well. However, a lot of positives. You know, high IQ guy, good shooter for the center position as well, decent rebounder, size.
Very experienced.
Experienced. So for what they're getting, they had to give up a little bit in regards to what Simons is. But from what I just said about him and the second round pick, yeah, slap that in there to make them happy. The Celtics made a W trade in my eyes, man. But what do you think?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, actually coming to look at it with what you said, I do see how Anthony Simons was looked at as like a stopgap. You know what I mean? The sort of trade to help offload a bit of the scoring with Jaylen Brown, obviously the first half of the season, knowing that come trade deadline time we might make a move to get him away and bring him more of an experienced player. And obviously you're saying here with Vucevic, I don't mind the train at all for Boston. You know, I don't mind the train for Boston whatsoever. Because I watched a bit of the Nuggets Pistons game, and what's his name? Pistons center
Jalen
Duran. He held up with Jokic very well. Held up with Valanciunas very well.
He's a good defensive big mate.
And the crash out guy. Why do I have these guys face? I have their
Isaiah
face in my
Stewart.
head, but Beef Stew, bro. The bigs that are aggressive, they're big. They play their size. They play big. Do you know what I mean? They're very aggressive. So if you don't have size in there, they'll keep punishing you. And their point guard in Cade is 6'8". Do you know what I mean? So you need size. So if you're getting away, if you're removing a guard, at this point you have Derek White, you have Peyton Pritchard, you have Jaylen Brown. They can take over the ball handling responsibilities, and then once you bolster your squad with more size, then you can then look to match up with the teams like your Detroit, like your New York Knicks. So I'm not mad at it whatsoever.
I muted myself for no reason there. I don't know why. Pause about it. The Bulls, by the way, I have no idea what their team looks like anymore. I'm going to have to look at their team tomorrow. I think after the trade deadline is done.
Buzelis and friends.
Yeah, and friends is ideal. I think they're either. I have no idea what they're going to do, honestly. I think their best situation is just bottom out for a pick and then let's see what you can do in the draft. For real, because losing pieces left, right, center, everybody's just using you to pass players through as well. Yeah, dark for what it is in Chicago. Not much to say about them, but we'll see what they can do. And it's a shame. They were exciting to start the season. I remember you were very high on them and what Giddey was doing as well. But not much to be excited about now, I must say. Unless they make a move, there's still some time. Oh wow, I just deep it. It's disgraceful behavior from me. iPhone unavailable. Try again in 1 minute. Disgraceful from me. I haven't done that in ages, by the way.
I completely forgot that was even a thing. But yeah,
bro, I had another phone. I was putting in the password for the other phone. The Face ID wasn't doing that. I was like, wow, okay. So that's a real humbling, by the way. I need it for trades as well. It's fine. Don't worry. I'll move regardless. What other teams? What other trades happen in the Eastern Conference that I'm currently forgetting right now? We spoke about AD to the Mavericks. I don't mind that for Washington, by the way. You poking your nose at that. I don't mind it, Don't mind it.
No, man. Washington, they don't move me at all, man. I believe it when I see it, but bro, since what's the two guard? John Wall and Beal.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really seen anything.
But this is now the time. This is the first time since John Wall, Bradley Beal, that they're into relevancy. And do you know what? There's something to be said about that, because for the longest time I was saying, look, I don't want my Kings to tank, because it's actually nice to have my Kings talked about in good, circles, in playoff pictures and playing pictures. And we've spoken about the Wizards in the past, and that this is one of the worst teams in the NBA de facto. They haven't been relevant for a long time because they be failing in the draft. They make boneheaded decisions. Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, of the likes, and they're in this cycle of just not going anywhere. Whereas now, at least they have some sort of direction, some sort of future in that they have young players. They have Trae Young waiting in the wings. They have Anthony Davis, who they can give all the money into the world to. It seems like that's all he's playing for these days, because I don't know if he's trying to win or not anymore. If they can lock everybody into what they're trying to do, they can build something nice over there, or at least something in the terms of, let's give the people something to talk about, which hasn't been said for a long time in Washington. So I'm not mad at any of the moves that they've done. I like the Trae Young move that they did, even though he has its deficiencies. I like the AD move, that what they're trying to do, even with his injury issues and his health issues. I don't mind it whatsoever, so I'm not going to turn their nose at it, man. They're trying to do something to actually make something of their franchise. You can't poo-poo that.
I hear it. I mean, looking at it from that point of view, I guess I can commend that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the element of, like, trying. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just sitting on your hands and just hoping things just magically turn out good. You know what I mean? So if you're trying, I guess I can't knock that.
Some smaller trades have happened as well now that I've gone into my phone. Chris Paul, Raptor now. He was traded for a second-round pick, a free-teamer. Second-round pick plus some cash that went to the Brooklyn Nets. It's never nice to be traded with cash. I'm telling you, that's actually
right.
It's not disrespectful, but it's not nice. Nothing much to say here. I think good pickup for the Raptors. Good experienced point guard. Know it all. Been there, done that.
I mean, wait, sorry, I missed that. I was trying to follow with what you were saying.
Oh, Chris Paul is a Raptor now, and I think this is a good pickup.
Is that how he's gonna end his final year in the league?
What do you mean?
In Toronto?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, what?
Yeah, they up there in the West. I mean, in the East. They could surprise a team or two. They could use his expertise.
He's not even in the country, man.
He could play.
They sent Chris Paul out of the country. What?
Yeah, why not?
But I mean, obviously, he was trying to do the whole Cinderella thing. Go back to the Clippers and all of that stuff. Obviously, that didn't work out. But I mean, I guess if he's in and around the team that is probably going to make the playoffs, he's not going to hurt the team. But in terms of that Cinderella storyline of him, ending his career and, getting the adulation stuff, that's kind of gone out the window. So a bit disappointing in that sense, but if you're in and around the team, helping them make the playoffs, it's not bad.
That's what it is, man. We talked about Jared McCain, excuse me. No longer a Sixer, now Thunder.
I'm seeing tweets here. There are people like saying it's so unfair that OKC's got him, People are incensed at the fact that we've got him. I love it.
I'm letting them know, by the way. I'm letting them know. You lot could have done a lot worse. You could have got Giannis. You could have just said, hey, man, what? How many picks? We got that for you, no problem.
Oh, Giannis is out here attention seeking, man. He was never leaving Milwaukee, man.
And I'm going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. But I think in regards to the crux of trade deadline, I'm not mistaken. We've gotten all the bits and bobs out of the way.
We've covered every blade of grass, to be fair. Prime Kante.
I think so. ESPN. No, Lonzo. Yeah, we've done all right. Stateside Umph. Well done, matey. Still some trades to happen, of course. But that's what I'm going to ask you now. In the game we're about to play, shall we play it?
Let's play one more game. Let's do it.
Well, I was going to call this winners and losers per se, but I've changed it slightly. I've ad-libbed it. I've called audible can, as they do on the football field. I'm going to ask you a few players that I believe could be traded or are in trade talks at the moment. You can let me know if they should get traded, where they should get traded to. Would be a bonus as well. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for the people?
Let's see how it goes. Let's do it.
First one is an interesting one that I saw emerge. Draymond Green. Now, I understand that they're trying to get Stephen Curry a ring, and they'll do it by any means. And Draymond came out the other day after, I can't remember who they faced, but he was all like, this could be my last game, and if it is, what a bloody ride it was. Should they look to move Draymond? And is there a team that could use him?
I struggle with change, especially when you've had a team like Draymond. We've had a team like the Warriors with Draymond and Steph and Clay. See, Clay left, but then it's been Steph and Draymond the whole time. Do you know what I mean? I know Draymond has his off court issues, on court issues, talks too much, but I think the Warriors would be silly to let him go. I think if they want to get Curry one more ring, if I don't think it's gonna happen, but if Draymond has to be a part of it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like with what Draymond offers, I think he was top five in votes or top three votes in Defensive Player of the Year last year. Who you who, how you letting him go and who you bringing in to replace that? And it's not just the defense; it's the playmaking, it's the understanding with Steph. So I'm saying I love I feel like people not to make this into a long thing. I feel like people take to heart too much what how Draymond is like as a person, but completely forget that the Warriors don't win these rings without Draymond. They need Draymond. I mean, he's the MVP on the other end of the ball for the Warriors. So I think he needs to stay put. Or yeah, they'll have to keep him if they want to do something. Being the Warriors.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't disagree with any points that you made. If they do trade him, I don't think it's a thing where it's like, oh, we're getting somebody because we're trading Draymond. I think it's more of a Draymond makes a lot of money. So if we're going to bring a star in, we're going to have to bring other pieces like, you Kumingas of the world, your Moses Moody's of the world that are a little bit more desirable in regards to future. And then Draymond's there to make up the money, per se.
Right.
And he said he has no ill will against Golden State. If they trade him, he'd return to the team. Obviously, that would have to be seen rather than believed. But if that's what they want to do and they want to try and get Stephen Curry a ring, then it might be that. Or trade Jimmy, which I don't know if I agree with that per se, but that's the options. That's the alternative for the Golden State Warriors. The next one that I have on my head, and as you can imagine, doing this off the Domsky, we talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Do you think that a trade will materialize? And if so, or if not, who could use him the most?
Giannis to New York. You know what I mean? I'd say get Giannis to New York. Swap him for Cat. Just to really push and see what the potential of this New York team is and what their ceiling is, coupled with the window of opportunity out in the East. I know you've got Detroit there. To be fair, with every game that goes by, I'm seeing how legit this Detroit team is. I mean, because they're being more and more battle tested. So I don't want to just completely dismiss them. But I still feel like if you get a player like Giannis who offensively is better, defensively raises your floor as well, and is better than Cat and can help surplus a little bit of the deficiencies in Brunson as well, that's just a plus across the board. Do you know what I mean? So if you get a player like Giannis in, I know you're going to have to give up a bit, but you'll get him more than you're given in that type of situation. So Giannis to the Knicks, and yeah, I think that would be the best move.
Fair enough. And Giannis has said, apparently, of course, this is what he say, she say, but the East is where he would like to stay because the Knicks, the Heat, somebody else has been mentioned as well that I'm not thinking of right now. It might have been the Celtics, I can't remember. But an Eastern Conference team is what he looks like. And fair enough, that's probably his easiest way in regards to getting to the finals, LeBron style. Speaking of LeBron, by the way, I don't know if you saw that dirty rumour, which I swear I'm going to call it because there's no way, surely, that LeBron could return to Cleveland and he could play with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden as early as next season.
Nah, man, I don't like that. But it's like it's gonna be the whole LeBron show if he comes back to Cleveland for the second time. It's just gonna take the shine away from Donovan Mitchell, who obviously he wants it to be his team. Even though he's gonna try and it's LeBron, he built everything, bro. The dynamics and everything, the storylines, the noise is gonna be too lopsided. I think it will ruin whatever chemistry that might potentially be built from now to the end of the season with like your Hardens and your Mitchell. If you bring in a LeBron James, and LeBron might not even have to perform at a crazy level just off of what he is and what he means to Cleveland. I think that would just be too much noise that the Caps just don't need.
And lastly, from me, I have a few in my head. Do you have one or two? I don't know how many you have. Maybe you have none. But do you have any players that on the top of your head that you think need a trade during this season, or do you think that will
Need
get
a
moved?
trade.
Yeah, or do you think that will get moved? Do you want to play Nostradamus?
Who do we have? Um, ooh,
You obviously have
hold on,
people
man.
that we've spoken about in the past, like your Michael Porter Juniors, your Jonathan Kumingas.
I mean, definitely Kaminga. I'm surprised that his name hasn't come up. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. as well. Like we mentioned, 2 episodes back, how I feel like he provides a lot of value to teams in terms of his improved playmaking, his overall IQ, which I feel like has gotten better. His shot making. I mean, the confidence that he has in that, like he didn't already have confidence in that already. So them type of players, I want to see teams aggressively go for. Do you know what I mean? I think the Nuggets done that at the very start of the season, going for, like a Cam Johnson or um, um, Tim
Tim Hardaway.
Hardaway, and stuff like. I want to see that from other teams as well. Obviously, goals to try and knock OKC off the perch. Not going to happen, but it'll be nice to see. You know what I mean, the attempt anyway. Had to get it in now.
Of course you did. Of course you did. It's interesting for me, like off the top of my head, Cam Thomas probably will get traded. He didn't sign an extension coming into the season. He's playing on and some sort of mid-level exception, if I'm not mistaken. So he'll probably get moved. And I can imagine there'll be a team that needs a bit of six-man-ish presence to come off the bench, be a little bit of a microwave scorer. I can imagine. I think Ja's probably going to get traded as well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him staying on or wanting to stay on the Grizzlies franchise. That
He's
just
not even gonna play, bro. Even if he stays.
I think he won't play if he stays. Definitely, because it's like, what the hell am I really playing for? I'll just go get surgery or something.
Right.
Michael Porter Jr. I could see it. I've already said LaMelo. I'd like to think he's just going to play for somebody else. There's a lot of things that could happen. My Kings, I do think that there's one of the big players is going to be out there. Sabonis is my hunch, if I'm being honest, just because if you look at the face of our roster, he's the person that holds the most value to someone in regards to rebounding, playmaking ability, scoring as well. He's not been the healthiest this year, of course, so it'll be a team that's taking a punt to see where he's at and if he can elevate their team. But he's the one that I could see, like, if a King player had to move or will move, Sabonis would probably be him.
He provides a lot of value to teams, though. Do you know what I mean, with everything they've just listed out there.
But
I don't know what the trade package would look like. That's the thing.
Exactly, and then there's smaller pieces as well. Like, I'm looking at JJ Redick, and I'm surprised he hasn't pulled the trigger on like some sort of defensive wing at the moment.
Of course.
So, there's moves that still are going to be made, have to be made. The deadline is tomorrow of time of recording. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about anything that we haven't spoken about in the next week's podcast, Stateside Humph. Long one, but it's been a pleasure, as you do today, episode 71.
Who he play for? I'm dreading when you actually post that as well.
Oh, matey, it wasn't just it wasn't me. I didn't do this to you. I didn't do it to you.
Hey, Knicks Nuggets on in like half an hour as well, so I'm gonna see what the first half's saying for that as well.
Good game. Have a look at who's not playing and who's not on the bench, because that could be a dead giveaway of who might get moved.
Of course.
Knicks are a popular team at the moment, matey.
They're a popular team. If Cat's not playing, you already know.
You never know if Bridges ain't there. Bridges is Iron Man. Why is he not there?
Just gotta read it between the lines.
Brother. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I've enjoyed it. Stay side up today as always, special one coming up for you boys as well. Stay tuned to what we have coming up in the next few episodes of Stateside Report UK. For now though, please like, share, comment, rate, subscribe, all that jazzy stuff. Me and Stateside back again next week.
Same time next week.
Until then, lads, take it easy.
In a bit.